I'm going to start with the Builder Banner dies. And like I say, I'm going to make an Easter wall hanging. I've sort of gone all out on this. So before the show, we go through everything and I'm saying, well, I'm going to use that first demo, I'm going to use that first demo, I'm going to use that first demo. So I'm just going to use as much as I can. And it just shows you how you can mix and match your products that you get. So with the Builder Banners, what you're getting is you're getting the set of dies in there, and you can have the different, oh, I've left one in the packet. I was going to say you can make 4 different bottoms. There we go, there's another one there as well. So you can make the different sizes, but also what you get is a template alphabet.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you how we use these. And in with the bundle, you're also getting the Builder Bloom. Now, I know Ben's got some gorgeous bunting with this Builder Bloom on, so we're going to show that at some point through the show with the Vintage Flowers fabric as well. So you're going to show how we use those. So to do the banners, what you're going to do first is, you can see we've got a rectangle here in the die set. So we're going to cut out the rectangles first. And I've just got my junior plates here because these will go through the junior. So I've got my fabric there. I've just got 4 layers of fabric here, and I'm going to put my rectangle on there, and I'm using the fabric plates here, but if you've got the standard plates, you've got your clear plate, your metal shim, your fabric, your die cutting into your fabric, your plastic shim and your other clear plate.
Yes.
With the new plates, you've got an A and a B and the 2 clear.
And is it always about 4 layers you can cut through, depending on your fabric, I
6
suppose?
to 8, to be honest,
Oh,
Ben. Yeah, I'm just being frugal here with my fabric. Because I got a bundle of the mystery fabric last week, no, the week before, and I had some green left and I thought the green would be perfect. So I've been using this 1/2 metre of green up, and I've made loads of stuff. It's really, 1/2 metre goes a real long way. So let's get rid of my little bits there. And this is where you're going to decide what sort of base you want on your bunting. So you can have the scalloped edge, the round edge, or there's 2 different angles, points on there as well. So you can mix and match them if you want, but I'm going to do all of the round ones. So what you do is, once you get your rectangle cut out, you're then going to place this one along the bottom. And I'll just get some tape, because this is where you do, I mean, to be fair, I do stick most of my dies down anyway, because I don't want them to shift on the fabric. But here, you definitely want to stick it down because you don't want it to move. Okay. Now, essentially, these dies here, you can incorporate these with other dies that you've got. If you want to do round corners and things, or scalloped edges, you could actually do the scallop on the other side as well and make it an oval if you want an oval shape. So, you know, there's lots of ways you can mix and match them. So I'm going to pop that through again. And say I'm using my Gemini plates in the big Gemini, so they just go in sideways in there.
Will these dies go through your MIDI as well?
I'm not sure if they'll go through the MIDI.
Oh, okay.
Only because I've never used a MIDI.
Okay.
So I'm not certain of the multimedia ones. We might have to ask one of the paper crafters team to see if they can answer. I'll check with Debbie later. Debbie might.
Yeah.
Oh, I can give it a go after the show anyway, can't I? Because there'll be a MIDI.
Well, I just
see
think
one over there.
I've got one at home actually, and as you know, I haven't done much sewing since I've done some repairs, but I just kind of think I've got my sewing machine and my little MIDI at home. This seems like a fun thing to do.
Size-wise, it would fit, but I'm not sure whether the multimedia ones work in the mini, so we'll need to check that out.
All right.
We'll check that out.
If you've already done it and tried it, by the way, let us know.
Yeah, do let us know. There we go. Right. So now I've got a couple of stray threads there, so I'll just them out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the word Easter with my pieces. Now, obviously, because this is quite a big project, I've done a little bit of prep beforehand. And what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 of these and you're going to sew them right sides together.
Yes.
But you're going to leave a gap at the top so you can turn it through. So once you've done that, you can see there that it looks smaller because obviously you've got your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Top tip for sewing round curves, shorten your stitch length, and whenever you're doing something with an open top like that you're going to turn through, always secure your stitches at the start and stop, just so it doesn't unravel when you're putting it together. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is decorate them to get our letters on. So what I've done, Now, I need to get the letter E. So I'm going to do the letter E. Now, I know we did have this on the show, but it's gone. It goes straight away, the Bondaweb.
Oh,
but
yes.
if you've got Bondaweb, heat and bond, anything like that. I mean, you can even use glue as well. I'll show you some shortly that I've done with felt, and I've used glue on those. So what I've done is I've put some Bondaweb just on the back, and what it is, it's a fusible paper. If I tilt it, it's probably not the best doing it on white fabric, but it's a fusible paper, it's like a glue. So that's now cold once I've ironed it on, and this is paper here, so I'm going to put my letter on. The thing you need to remember is that you're putting the letter on backwards, because
yes.
when you turn it to the correct way,
you'll get it the right way around.
You want it the right way around. And then all you're going to do is pop your letter on there. Now, I normally draw mine on the paper first and then iron it on, but I use a pencil. And just before the show, I was looking and I was like, oh, I haven't got a pencil. So I thought, oh, well, that's fine, you can do it the other way. So I'm using a heat erasable pen here. Any pen would do. To be honest, I wouldn't use an ink biro because that could end up going onto your fabric and you don't want to get ink on just in case it doesn't come out. So you're just drawing around, so you can see how we've drawn around there, the outline, and then you're going to cut that out. And then once you've cut it out, like we've got here, so I've cut this one out, you can then take this off the back, because what we want to do is bond this onto the front of this, like a pennant. They call it pennants, don't they? The individual ones, I think, called pennants.
Yes.
So what you're going to do is you need to get this paper off the back of here to reveal the glue. Now, what I like to do is I like to use a pin and just score it. What I don't want to do is go to the end of the fabric and try and do this. Because what can happen is if it doesn't come away, you could fray your fabric. So just putting that in there. There we go. So that's my paper. So that's waste, but to be fair, it's not. I suppose you could use that on some sort of project.
Yeah.
And then we've got the letter left, and then this now has that adhesive on the other side. Okay. So I'm going to place that on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them all lined up here. I'm going to have a right mess here, Ben. But I'm being a rebel. I'm only here on a Sunday.
That's it.
No bosses are in on a Sunday, are they?
No, you won't get in trouble on a Sunday. You do what you want, Bernie. And you only want to eat. There's no bosses here tomorrow either, with it being
that's true, yeah, because
holiday.
It's bank holiday.
You're well away.
So I'm just going to show you the ones I've done before I press that one, because I want to just make sure they're lined up. So these, the E and the S and the other E, I've done out of the Vintage Flowers fabric.
Yeah, we'll show you that in a bit.
So that's with those. And then the T, I cut it out of felt and I just glued that on. So you can stitch it on. If you are going to do any stitching though, stitch it on before you sew them together, because it makes it easier for you to get the needle behind. Not like me, who decided that I was going to embroider some of them at home using the embroidery threads we've got in the Save a Stitch on the show, but I stitched them first, so I was like inside with my needle because I didn't want to go through the other side.
Okay.
Oh, I have a little bit there. Look at that. Shocking. We'll not show the back. So these are...
We'll edit that bit out later.
So these are the ones I just embroidered on, and I just practiced. So that's just a running stitch. And that one, I think that's called a chain stitch or a daisy stitch, maybe. I think it's a chain stitch. And I just had a little bit of play just with those, just to get the letters. So I've got my Easter. So what I want to do is just iron this E on there.
Yep.
So I need to get my... Where's my ironing board? Let's get my ironing board.
And once you've ironed it, is that it then? Or do you then have to stitch around it as well, right?
So... because this one is going to be obviously for showing purposes, we're not going to really use it as such.
Yeah.
You can just leave it ironed on. But when it's the Heat and Bond Light or the Bondaweb, ideally you should stitch it down as well. It's like a temporary fix. You can buy an ultra hold one, which will be permanent, so you don't have to. So if you're unsure, the Heat and Bond Light is like a purple colour packet, and the Heat and Bond Ultra, which is the one you don't need to sew, is a red packet. But also, it's not a case of that you don't need to sew, you don't sew it, because the glue in it's stronger, it can gum up on your sewing machine and damage your machine. So... I use Heat and Bond Light all the time on the Bondaweb. Right, so I've got my Easter letters, but we can't just say Easter, we want to say Happy Easter.
Oh, yes.
Happy Easter. So I've got those letters there. I'm just going to put them to the side there in all of me mess. And then This is where I've been busy over the weekend, Ben.
Oh, come on. I love those
Look
little
what
chicks.
I've been busy doing.
Look at the chicks.
Look at the little chicks. Well, I'm going to show you shortly how I made them because you'll be very surprised. And again, what I've used, I got some buttons out my stash.
Yeah.
This is the felt, the So Lovely felt that we've got on the show.
Yeah.
And this orange embroidery thread for the beak and the feet is out of the Brights pack of the embroidery thread as well. So we've got a big embroidery thread later in the show with ribbons as well. And I just thought, you know what? That's going to be great. I used some of the blue to make the P. So all I did with this was drew around the template, sewed around with embroidery thread. Here I've done some little French knots, but then I thought it still needs something else to pop. So I put some of me So Lovely threads that were on the show a couple of weeks ago, if there's any of them still left on the website, and I just went round with my machine and just followed roughly the line. And this isn't free motion, I just used my foot and I just slowly went round and just did a few rows of stitching, and I think it just lifts it off. And then I've got another felt one here, and this one I did temporarily glue down and then I've stitched down on here. To make the little chicks, let me show you what I used.
Yes.
It's exciting.
Oh, I've just seen what you've got on your hand. You've used the robin to make the chick.
I used the robin. Yeah. So we've got these. I'm gonna demo these. So my next demo, I'll show you how these work. We've got some beautiful samples to show you. But what I did was, I looked online at a picture of a chick and I thought, well, that's the robin. And all I did was I die cut it and then I just chopped his tail off. Ooh. And rounded it off there, and you get the little chick. And I thought you could even embroider some little seeds on there, couldn't you? So he was like, just chipping away at his seeds. I love that idea.
The robin we've got on the show, by the way, in a set with a heart and also a snowflake. So it just goes to show you, if you were looking at that thinking, well, that's just for Christmas. Bernie has just proved that that is not the case, you see. It can be for Easter all year round as well. You buy two, you get one free within that collection as well. Love that idea.
It's good, isn't it? I do that a lot. I'll look at something and think, you know, what else? Because obviously when we're selling a product on the packaging, there's only so much you can put on there for inspiration. And sometimes with Christmas ones, like you say, Ben, you can look at it and go, oh, well, that's just for Christmas.
Yeah.
But once you start looking at what else you can use them with, then, you know, it opens up a lot of things. So I've got those nicely. I think they're quite even on there, aren't they? They look all right, do you
pretty
think?
good. I'm happy with that.
So these have got happy.
See what I did there?
There you did there. So again, I've got the bonder web on the back of here, but you could stitch them down. You could use our temporary or the permanent stick and spray or the stick and stay. And put that on the back and then stitch them down. Yeah, I'm thinking I have my iron. I have one of them irons that lift up at home.
Oh, I know what you mean.
I was waiting for it to rise up there.
How what have you got that on? Is that on full heat?
This is on full heat, yeah, because I'm stitching cotton. But what happens with bonder web and heat and bond is you're going to heat it for it. You're warming the glue up for it to adhere.
Yeah.
If you iron it for too long, it's going to reverse the gluing process. So if ever you've been ironing and think it's not sticking, and you've been trying again to stick it, it would never do it after that because you've reversed the glue, the function of the glue. So if that ever happens, you haven't got a dud piece of bonder web, it's just been that little bit of heat on there. So there we go. So we've got our happy at the top, and then now we're going to start putting these together. So what I thought was, like I say, I rang my mum and I said, Mum, have you got any dowel or any bamboo or something like that? She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm making a banner. So
good. We're all glad about that.
So I need, shall we have it, that one there? I need a little bit. So this is how it's going to look. So what I'm going to do is I want to stitch these onto the bottom of here. So I'm going to turn it this way just so you can probably see it a little bit better as I line it up. What I'm going to do is just show you how to evenly line something up. You can use a ruler if you want, but what I like to do is put the bottom ones on first.
Okay.
Or the end ones, I should say.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting right sides together, so just like you saw in a seam, because these are going to be hanging down. And then I'm going to go to the top one and do that one evenly as well. And I've left about 1/2 inch from the end there because I don't want them too close to the edge. And then this is where now we're just going to then pop these other two. So this now means you've only got to really think about position and 4 rather than the whole 6.
Have you got them all in the right order?
I hope so. Let's have a check. E, A, S.
I told you about when I was on that other channel and I was with not a demonstrator from here, but she was making a card and it was supposed to say, "It's a boy."
Oh
and
dear.
She put the letters around the wrong way, and when she revealed it to the camera, it said, "It's a yob."
It's a yob! Oh, I hope that wasn't an omen.
I'll always remember
there
that.
we go. So I've got those evenly placed on there.
Yeah.
So this is where now I'm going to get my quilting clips.
Yes, the handy clips.
Invaluable.
They're super, aren't they?
Absolutely invaluable. And on the back of here, I haven't showed you actually the back of this piece, I've got some fusible fleece. So with fusible fleece, what I've done is I've ironed it onto the back and I've cut it 1/4 of an inch shorter all the way around. So when you're making something and you think that's actually going to be quite bulky, sometimes it's easier if you cut it 1/4 of an inch away all the way around. I'll show you once I've got this clipped, I'll turn it over. There we go. You can see my fantastic stitching there, so nobody's going to see that ever again. But you can see how I've just left roughly, I mean that's a little bit less, just rough all the way around. So what it means is that's not going to go in the seam when you stitch it together. Okay, so I've got those pieces on that side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack this down to keep it in place.
Okay.
Before I make my sandwich to turn it through. And what that means is it's a long stitch on your sewing machine. So I'm going to lengthen it to 4 there. And I'm just going to stitch quite close to the edge.
Okay.
And then it just keeps it in place.
Whilst you are stitching, to do a few hellos, if you want to get in touch this morning, let us know why you're up so early on Easter Sunday. Tuned in specially to watch us, I know. But Lynn says, happy Easter to you all. Happy Easter, Lynn. June saying, good morning, everyone. It is a cool, dark morning in Florida. Bet it's going to warm up, though, June, isn't it? Bet it is going to warm up. Eve says, good morning. Adriana says, good morning from Texas and happy Easter Sunday. Re your badge that we showed at the top of the show, Bernie. Anila says, actually, I like the idea of all wearing name badges, so new customers can remember the names.
Oh, somewhere where I used to work years ago, we all had to have our name and job title stuck on our monitors in front of us because there was 100 of us in the department.
Yeah.
So if new people were coming in, and it was an international business, so people were coming in from abroad as well, didn't know who anyone was.
Yeah.
So we all had to have, and obviously we wore our name badge on a lanyard.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all had our names, and we used to have great fun at Christmas changing people's names to funny titles.
Mine would be Ben Mosby, Minion. That's what it would say on mine again.
The ribbon.
Oh yeah, loads of ribbon.
Oh, this is beautiful. I have not used this ribbon before, and this is the Orange Sunset collection. So there's a yellow and 2 shades of orange, and then, well, another shade of orange there. It's absolutely gorgeous. And what I've done is I've cut, for one piece, I've cut 6 pieces 6 inches long. So if anyone wants to know the measurements, the overall size of this backing here for the happy was 25 inches by 7.5 inches. And then obviously you cut your banners out so they're cut to size. So then all I'm going to do now is I want to put tabs on the other side because I want it to hang up with tabs. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to turn it around because with me being a lefty. So what I'm going to do, and what you need to remember is, if you want it to finish like that, you want to sew it like that. So I'm just by eye, I'm just putting it into the centre, roughly, of the banner there, and I'm just going to clip that in. So I'm going to clip all these along, and then again, I'm just going to stitch quickly down here to put these in place. You can put your backing on and sew it all on one go, but I think sometimes if things move, you sort of kick yourself and think, oh, I wish I'd done it now, because you try and sort of save a little bit of time, but it doesn't always work like that. So
it's great how this is all coming together, though, and actually, you know, a great little project. If I know we've got lots of paper crafters who watch, and you know, maybe you sort of dip into softer side, and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, might try giving, soft craft a go. Maybe you've got, a sewing machine at home that you haven't used for ages, but then you've got things like your Gemini machine, you've got other bits and pieces in your crafty stash. If you're getting a collection like this, adding a bit of embroidery, cotton and ribbon in there as well, this is a project actually, isn't it, Buddy, that a beginner could have a go at quite easily.
It's perfect, definitely. And these multimedia dies will cut your card and paper stock as well. So, even if you're not a soft crafter and you're watching, I know a lot of, I'll watch a lot of the paper crafting shows. I don't necessarily do very much at all, but if you're watching us anyway and think, oh, actually, I can use them in with my paper crafting, and make them. The other thing, what would fantastic, Ben, on this is using that fabric coat.
Oh, okay.
So you can have, now if you've got birthday banners you want to make, you can make them interchangeable. So if you want them to do for any occasion, and like I say, those ones that you've got there, they're just sort of like generic ones, Dream, you could have that hanging just permanently in the bedroom.
Yeah.
You could colour code it with your bedroom scheme and everything as well.
We've got loads of bits of bunting hanging up at home actually. We've got like home, we've got hanging up in like the dining room. What else have we got?
If you make wreaths.
Oh yes.
So if you've got any of our fabric stabiliser, or you could cut them out of card, make the letters to go all the way around the wreath and then hang the wreath up as well.
That's a lovely idea.
That one's just come to me there. But I hadn't thought of that before. And once you start talking about ideas and other things start popping into your mind, and then what I would say is though, write these ideas down because you forget.
Makes it very homely, doesn't it? And you have things like this.
It does. It just gives it that extra touch as well, doesn't it? So Ben, what I've done now is I've tacked all those down. I basted them. It's the same means the same thing, different terms. And then what I've done is I've got some of that vintage flowers fabric because I didn't have enough of a long piece of the green, and I thought, well, I've got this in the letters so it can tie in. And I've just cut a piece. It's actually a tiny little bit longer, but that's fine, because we can trim that down. And I've just laid it over the top. I've tucked all my ribbon under my banner. I hope I've put it the right way. I haven't I? Yeah. I was just imagining it being upside down there. Yob. I was going to say boy, it was yob, wasn't it?
It's a yob.
Boy, yeah. So, and again, I'm just clipping these in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew all the way around here, but I'm going to leave a gap in the end here to turn it. I wouldn't leave it in the longer end because that's where you've got your extra pieces and you want them to sit nice. So where you've got a clean end, if you like, I'm just going to leave about a 4-inch gap there for turning. So I'm just going to stitch quickly all the way around there.
Okie dokie.
We're nearly done.
Flying through. This show, by the way, we're already 35 minutes in. I was looking at the clock and thinking, 10 past, quarter past? No, it is flying by and we've got so much more to bring to you with Bernie. Thank you for all the messages. People just beginning to wake up, I think, across America. Lakieta saying this project is adorable. Mary says, Happy Easter from Colorado. Happy Easter, Mary Lee. It's supposed to be sunny and warm here today. Highs of 81, which is 27 degrees.
Wow.
We had snow a week ago. Do you know what? For the first time today, I reckon for the first time ever, I've woken up here, up north. I pulled back the curtains and the sun shone in and I felt the warmth of the sun for the first time here up north. It is a lovely day today.
See, when I woke up and opened the blinds, my car was all frosted over.
Oh, was it?
I was like,
what time did you wake up?
On here? It was about 7:30 as well.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was really cold. But then the sun came out and it melted it all away, so...
It's warm up here today, let me just tell you. From the temperature that we normally have, it's about 10 degrees. They've all got their shorts on out there and they're getting the deck chairs out. I tell you what, producer Johnny will be getting his top off and in between shows. He'll be out in the car park getting his sun cream on. He'll be like that. He will. He'll be like that.
We're waiting for the ice cream man.
Waiting for the ice cream man.
So if anyone doesn't know what an ice cream man is, we have them in England.
Do you not have them in America?
You have them in America. You might do, like ice. So you can go and buy your ice cream, like a mobile ice cream seller.
Yeah.
You must have.
So
let us know.
Let us know in America. Do you have that ice cream man? So yeah, they go around in little vans here, and they've got obviously the freezers within inside the van, and they play a little tune as they go around, so that you know that they're coming. So if they drive into your neighbourhood, and obviously all the kids come out, don't they, with their with their pocket money to buy their ice creams. I told my kids, because I'm a bit tight, if they hear the music playing, I was like, nah, that means he's run out. He ain't got any ice cream left.
Ben!
Yeah. Can we get ice cream? No, he's run out. He's playing the music.
Oh,
he only plays the music when he's run out of ice cream.
Is that true?
I don't really. I don't really.
Thank goodness for that. Right, so I've stitched all the way around there. So I'm now just going to trim these edges off. Now, on the corner, I'm just going to trim across. I'm just being brave with my... Remember, if you're doing rotary cutting by hand, keep your fingers behind the blade.
Ah, yes.
So I've done them corners.
Just a bit of chat again about these multimedia dies. Lisa's saying, I'm quite new to sewing. Will all these dies go through a cut and emboss machine, as I don't have a Gemini machine? I would imagine... Would they? I'd imagine they will.
They will, yes, but I'm not 100% sure on the sandwich.
Right. Yeah.
So if you check in your booklet for, it might call them deep dish dies sometimes as well.
Yeah.
But if you're totally not sure on the sandwich, then you can always drop our customer services team a ring, because they do have a lot of information there. Or someone else might be able to answer in the comments.
Yeah.
But the other thing as well is join our Sewing with the Crafters Companion group on Facebook and pop a post in there, because I have seen people post stuff in there as before about that, and other people have told them what works for them, the sandwich. So obviously we can only comment on the sandwich for the Gemini, but they will go through those machines. It's like the Sizzix as well. We get a lot of queries about the Sizzix. Oh, look at this. I'm so excited for this pen. I don't want to show the end till I get all my corners poked out.
Just while you're pulling that out, we have had confirmation from Taylor that they do have ice cream trucks in the US.
Fabulous.
I thought they must. Do they play the tunes as well, Taylor? That's what I want to know. Do they play the funny old ice cream music tunes? It's usually green sleeves, isn't it?
Oh, Wilson Matilda's another one.
Oh, what? Wilson
Matilda.
Oh, yeah.
That's Australian one, isn't it? That was our one of ours. Yeah, we had a few.
What? Producer Johnny, what? Yours used to play Match of the Day?
So what I'm going to do is just quickly stitch up this end. Now I need to stitch all the way around, but just so I can get my bamboo on and show the finished effect.
Yes.
I'm just going to...
This is the first time since we've been doing the demo of the week, Malarkey. So yeah, you will get to put something forward, right?
Ooh,
for demo of the week.
Exciting.
It's tonight, isn't it?
It's tonight, yeah. I'm not going to say I haven't tried my hardest this week, because I'm only here once a week, aren't I? So I only get one go at it. So I've got 1 star.
Oh, and a big one as well.
I've got 1 star. Jan made me that little star. So I won one. I made a bag. But yeah, right. So
I'm in charge of that show, Bernie. So I'll
champion.
I'll help you out.
Right. So I'm going to put my bamboo here.
Yep.
Just through my ribbon. And we need a little bit on the top to tie it, but I can put that on after. Oh, I might have to stand back to hold this up. Oh, I'm thrilled to bits with it, Ben.
Oh, come
Yay!
on. That is brilliant.
I'm thrilled to bits.
I love that.
It's fab. And then what we want to do is put a little bit of ribbon here.
Yeah.
So then it'll hang up, hopefully, on the shelf over there later if everyone votes for it. Yeah, so that's it. That's our wall hanging.
Bernie, I've got to tell you, that is my favourite demo of the week so far. That's phenomenal.